I am Mario Fraioli. I write the Morning Shakeout email newsletter, which comes out every Tuesday morning. I'm here with some athletes from Generation UCAN. We have Susan, we have Eric, we have Andie, and we have Dawn. We're going to talk to them a little bit about the Cal International Marathon. We're in Sacramento. Behind us, we've got the Capitol. Finish line is behind Varun, who's on the camera bringing this live stream to you. I just want to talk a little bit about the race here in a bit, but first, just to throw it to each of you, if you want to briefly introduce yourself and what brings you to CIM.
Okay, my name is Susan Loken. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I've been a master runner for probably about 15 years now, and I've run in 3 Olympic trials, and now in my 50s I'm trying to break different records. For instance, the reason I'm here is trying to break the course record for over 50 at CIM, which is 2:49:48. So that's my bio.
Awesome. I'm Eric Finan. I train in Eugene, Oregon, originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I was a long-time track athlete, just barely missed making the Olympic trials in the 5K. Decided to move up to the marathon, so here I am. I ran CIM last year, but this year I'm hoping to come back, run a little faster, and qualify for the Olympic trials in 2020.
Andie Cozzarelli, and I train in Raleigh, North Carolina. I run for Wazelle and a newly formed team in Raleigh called the Raleigh Distance Project. I qualified for the 2016 U.S. Olympic trials and went well. So this is my 3rd marathon attempt. So I'm looking forward to just kind of getting that A standard to get back there in 2020.
I'm Dawn Grunnagle from Dallas, Texas, and I'm originally an 800, 1500 meter runner, and moved up to the marathon a couple of years ago, and I'm here as well trying to get the standard for the 2020 trials.
Cool, so we covered, a lot of you covered what you're hoping to do during the race tomorrow. Take me through your morning, say in the 3 hours before the race starts. Like what time will you get up, and what will you do between the time you get up and the time that you step on the starting line?
Okay, well, let's see. I have to catch the bus by 5 o'clock, so I'll work back. I'll probably get up about 3:45. I like to take a hot shower so my body's nice and warm, have a cup of coffee, go to the bathroom. That's a big thing. I just hate to say it, that's a big thing for runners. And then I'll catch the bus, and then I take on the bus, I'll take 2 packets of UCAN and 8 ounces of water, and I like to take that about 45 minutes before I run, and that'll sustain my energy for about 90 minutes into the run, and then I start taking gels at that point. But really before the run, all I take is 2 scoops of UCAN, because I've eaten, my glycogen's already full because I've eaten a full dinner the night before, and I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I eat something also. And so UCAN is perfect. It's easy on my stomach and makes me feel good. So that's pretty much my routine.
Yeah, it's pretty similar, honestly. Same thing. Bus leaves at 5. I'll get up at like 4. I'll have a much desired cup of coffee after holding off all week. So that'll be awesome. And then same thing, as I get on the bus at 5 a.m., I'll have chocolate UCAN, and I'll have that already mixed up. I'll probably add an extra shot of espresso into the chocolate UCAN, and I'll drink that on the way out to the start, and then a little bit of water before it, and pretty much about it.
Kind of similar. I'll wake up probably a little bit earlier to get my little bit of a breakfast in before with some coffee, and then about 45 minutes before I take my UCAN, which I actually like to eat it. I don't like to drink my UCAN. It's just I don't like to have a ton of fluid on my stomach before the race. So I will mix 2 scoops of the Cocoa Delight with a tablespoon of nut butter and 2 tablespoons of water, and make it into little bites, and I'll eat those within 45 minutes. And then I also take Eat Elite just for nitrate benefits around that same time. And then during the race, I plan to have another serving of those balls split between 2 servings, and I'll take them twice during the race. So yeah.
I'm going to wake up around 3:30, and I like to have just a piece of toast with peanut butter and banana and honey. And then around an hour before the race, I take my UCAN, and then every 5K in the race, I'll be taking the UCAN to get me through the finish of the marathon.
So I guess my next question for all of you guys, how do you approach a race like this, which is a U.S. championship, very deep competitive field on both sides and throughout all the age groups, really? Will you be sort of focusing on the race within the race, or do you stay like inwardly focused on your plan and try to stick to that as closely as possible throughout the day?
Well, I'm definitely going to stick to my plan.
Yeah.
And so I use everybody around me, because there is so much talent, to inspire me and to keep me going. But I have a plan that I'm going to stick through mile 13, and then I kind of assess how I feel, and if I feel good, then I'll pick it up a little bit and just work with those people around me. So that's how I'm going to tackle it.
Okay.
I hope to be in that lead pack of men. I know that it's going to be pretty competitive out front. We have a couple guys that I think are really going to shine, but I don't think any hard moves are going to be made before the halfway point, probably even before 16 miles, unless somebody has something sneaky up their sleeve. So my plan at this point is really just to be in the mix of things, at least through halfway, which I suspect will be close to 67 to 67.30, and then move from there and see how things shake out.
So this being my third attempt, I actually dropped out of Olympic trials from heat exhaustion and a bad training cycle leading up to it. And so my first one was last year, and I went well, but I also made a few mistakes during that race, one of them being going too fast in the middle of the race. And so this year, I think more of my goal is to stay patient and run a smarter race. So rather than trying to follow moves and be super on top of that in the front side, I want to be able to be controlled through 20 and then see if I can hammer home the last 10K and catch some people and see where I land. So
I think for me, I'm definitely going to follow my race plan as well. I've had a hard time closing the last 5K in the marathon, so my goal tomorrow is really to close well. And I think the way I'm going to do that is conserve as much energy as possible through 20 miles and then try to have a good last 10K.
Cool. And last question, we have to get through the race first, but everyone who's here presumably has been training for 2 to 4 months maybe for this marathon. They've put a lot of work in, they've had some build-up races, and people are looking to put their best effort out on Sunday, which could be a little over 2 hours or a little over 4 hours, but it's a culmination of this big long training block. What will you guys do immediately after the race, and then even maybe the 2 weeks to a month after the race, as you recover from the marathon physically and emotionally?
Well, I always take a week off. Is that what you're asking? Like going into it? Yeah. So I always take a week off. Absolutely no running after a marathon, just to give my body and my mind a break. And I eat brownies and and donuts and all the stuff that I've been refraining from for all those months. And then the second week, I'll kind of do a reverse taper. I'll do a quarter of what I was doing, then I'll add on 25%, and then within a month, I'll be back to my normal training.
Cool.
So.
I'm probably not the best guy to ask for this. I am going to Hawaii right after the race to hang out for a week, which is great, so no running there. But in a similar way, we'll be indulging in many sweets and fats, which is actually totally a good and normal thing. After a taper, if you are tapering with your diet into a race, it's actually really good to replenish those fat stores after the race, and it actually aids in recovery. So I'll be doing that. Long term, honestly, I'll probably just be skiing this winter, so...
So immediately after the race, I typically, today, have my UCAN, the protein. I like the chocolate version. So I'll typically try to get that in as soon as possible, hopefully within 30 minutes, and then eat a big lunch then 2 hours later to kind of get that extra protein that I need for recovery. And then for me, I think I'm going to take about 2 weeks off, do a little bit longer break, and try to just kind of get some other issues that I've been having going on kind of worked out. I had some issues with secondary amenorrhea earlier this year, and been trying to share that story and help more people kind of deal with that kind of problem. And so I think for me that's the best solution, is to kind of take it a little bit more easy than I have in the past, and allow my body to really recover so that next year I can continue to build on the success that I've had this year. So.
After the marathon, I like to definitely take my UCAN protein right after, as soon as I can get it in my system, and then I always go for the big burger and sweet potato fries, some pizza with some goat cheese. That's kind of my go-to post-recovery, and I always love to hit up some cheesecake as well. So those are things that I wouldn't try to indulge in at least 2 to 3 weeks leading up to this big marathon. But as far as running, I will definitely take a week to 10 days down, and then just slowly start building up my mileage back to training again.
Cool. Thank you guys all for your time. I'll let you get off your feet, back to your pre-race routine. Thank you all out there for joining us for this Q&A with Generation UCAN. If you're not signed up for the Morning Shakeout, morningshakeout.com, you can do so. Take care.